Good morning, guys. Welcome to the session to learn about the principle of working of a DC generator. The working of a DC generator, it follows Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. You know very well what is Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. It is nothing but whenever a coil is rotated inside a magnetic field, an EMF will be induced. Or when a coil is placed inside a magnetic field and the magnetic field is rotate, then also EMF will be placed. Either the conductor is or the coil is rotated or the magnetic field is rotated. Any one of the thing is rotated, the other being the stationary, the EMF will be induced in the conductor. It is nothing but the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Our DC generator is based on this principle of electromagnetic induction. The magnitude of such induced EMF can be calculated from the EMF equation of a DC generator. If the conductor is provided with a closed path, the induced current will circulate within the path. So you can have the magnetic system. In the magnetic system, you can see the coil is placed here. Two turns constitutes one coil that is placed here. When it is rotated, it can be rotated in either in clockwise direction or the anti-clockwise direction. In either way, when it is rotated, there will be a change in the flux. So when there is a change in the flux, when the coil is properly connected to the load, there will be current flows through the load. Here it is shown like the coil being ABCD in this direction. When it rotates 180 degree, that also it is shown. Just it is to illustrate the use of commutator. This diagram is shown here. So whenever this coil is rotated, an alternating current will be alternating EMF will be induced in the coil. So in a DC generator, the field coils produce an electromagnetic field. The field coils, the pole surrounding the pole, the coil will be wound. When it is excited, the magnet will become electromagnet. The electromagnet will become magnet. So these field coils produce an electromagnetic field and the armature conductors are rotated inside the field. Thus, an electromagnetically induced EMF is generated in the armature conductors. So, this direction of the induced current is given by Fleming's right hand rule. So, here the coil is rotated, the EMF is induced in the coil. This is also called as a dynamically induced EMF. When the armature is stationary, when the field is rotating, then the EMF induced in the armature is called statically induced EMF. Since the coil is rotated here, in the rotating coil, since the EMF is induced, it is called dynamically induced EMF. According to the Fleming's right hand rule, the direction of the induced current changes whenever the direction of the motion of the conductor changes. So initially ABCD in this direction it is there. When it turns 90 degree and another 90 degree, it goes in the opposite position. So that time the current, the direction of the current or direction of the EMF induced will be in the opposite direction. So let's consider the armature rotating in the clockwise and a conductor at the left is moving upward. When the armature completes half revolution, the direction of the motion of the particular conductor will be reversed downward. So accordingly, the direction of the current in every armature conductor also will be alternating. So for the what is that alternating EMF for the AC current, for the AC generation, you can have the connection. You can tap the power can be tapped out for the to use as a AC quantity. But you want to have a DC quantity, you need a commutator which is connected to the coil along with the brush, commutator and the coil. When it is connected, its purpose is to collect the current from the rotating armature. So here when a conductor is rotated 180 degree, accordingly the direction of the EMF is changed. Accordingly the direction of the current is changed. So the current will be in the opposite direction. So that the current produced will be in the alternating nature. To make it as unidirectional, the commutator also will be rotated after 180 degree. So you can see here the split ring commutator here. The connections of the armature conductors also gets reversed when the current reversal occurs. So when there is a current reversal due to the coil position after 180 degree, the connection or the commutator also will be accordingly changed, and therefore we will get the unidirectional current at the terminals. So with the split ring commutator, whenever the connections of the armature conductor also get reversed when the current reversal occurs, and therefore we will get the unidirectional current in the terminals. We will see the EMF equation. So let P be the number of poles of the machine, let phi be the flux per pole in Weber, and Z be the total number of the armature conductors, and let N be the speed of the armature in revolution per minute, that is RPM, and let A be the number of parallel paths in the armature winding. You just consider if in one revolution of the armature for one complete rotation, the flux cut by one conductor is given by P phi. When phi is the flux per one pole, for the P number of poles for the complete revolution, then flux cut by one conductor is nothing but the product of P into phi. Time taken to complete one revolution is given by T is equal to 60 by n seconds. So therefore the average induced EMF in one conductor will be, the flux cut will be P phi, that divided by T gives you the average induced EMF E. So substituting the value of T here, substituting value of T which is in equation 2, that is substituted in equation 3, will get P phi by 60 by n. So P phi n divided by 60 volts is the EMF. So the number of conductors connected in series in each parallel path is equal to Z by A. If you consider A as a number of parallel path, if number of total conductors is Z, in each path you will have Z by A number of conductors. Therefore, the average induced EMF across each path or the armature terminal is given by P phi n by 60 for one path. So there will be Z by A number of paths will be there or number of conductors will be there. Accordingly, EMF will be induced is equal to P Z phi n divided by 60A. So E is equal to P Z phi n by A. When n is the speed of the revolution per second, so n can be substituted as n by 60. For the given machine, the number of poles and the number of conductors per parallel path Z by A are constant. Hence the equation phi can be written as E is equal to K phi n, where K is a constant and is given as K is equal to Pz by A. When all these are constant, that is replaced with the constant K. Therefore, the average induced EMF equation can also be written as E proportional to phi n or K1 phi n, where K1 is another constant. Hence induced EMF equation can be written as E proportional to the phi n or proportional to phi omega, where omega is the angular velocity in radians per second represented as 2 pi n by 60. If the DC machine is working as a DC generator, then the induced EMF is given by the equation shown below, that is Eg. The induced EMF by the generator is nothing but Pz phi n by 60A, where P is the number of poles, Z is equal to number of conductors, phi is the flux, n is equal to speed, A is nothing but the number of parallel paths. So that's all about the EMF equation of the DC generator. Thank you.